All right, good morning, traders. Good morning to Jim, Rod, Alpha Dog, Robert, Chip, Fahad, Alan, Lenny G, Sharon, and everybody else here early in the morning at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everybody out there in podcast land, digital land, cyber land. Thank you for following my content, sharing my content. Thank you so much for being part of the BYOB experience. Thank you for, thank you, Sarah, Kathy, Roasted, Jim, Bob Jordan, John Jordan. Thank you for sharing my content. Appreciate that. Love that. Love the kind comments. Appreciate all of that. Let's go ahead and get started this morning. Today is August 19th, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. That is the day trading division of the hit and run candlesticks family. Hey, let's go take a look at some charts. Let's take a look at what happened yesterday. All right. My SPY pivot this morning, 643.50 above it. I'm a bull. SPY QQQ made lower highs, lower lows, closing inside bullish traps over their 17s. FNGU, diamond down, made lower highs, lower lows, closing above bullish traps over their 17s. SPY closed with a 2-hour downtrend and a 10-minute uptrend. IWM made a higher high and a higher low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. Silver still in an uptrend, made a higher low and a higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. Gold in a daily downtrend, made a lower high and a lower low, closing under the bearish trap under the 17. USO still in a daily downtrend, made an outside day, it's a higher high and a lower low, closing inside a bearish trap under the 17. UNG made a lower high and a lower low, closing inside a bearish trap under the 17. US dollar index still in a little micro uptrend inside that bear flag. Closed near the 98.13 area. SPY max paying for today 642 with a put to call ratio of about 1.1 put for each call that expires today. Hey, the main event this week is CPI. It's going to be released at 8:30 today. All right, just a heads up. Thank you in advance, Alan, for sharing that. Appreciate that. All right, let's go take a look at some charts this morning. And let's go over here, okay? We'll look at the 10-minute chart. Okay, you can see the 10-minute chart had a little 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. All right, that's from yesterday. On the 2-hour chart, all right, you can see we got a 2-hour downtrend coming into the close. Not much of a downtrend, but still a downtrend. We got the 3 underneath the 8 there. You can see prices underneath VWAP. All right, so on the daily chart, what did we put in? Lower high, lower low, closing inside a bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA. If we look at this with the quad lines on there, we're all the way here up at the top. That's bullish. We're still in an uptrend. We haven't made any lower lows. Everything's still looking good. Everything is still looking bullish. All right, we've just been consolidating. If you look at the price structure over past couple weeks here, price moves up and is moving over to the right. Looking for a little breakout this morning, maybe up to 650, 655. We'll see how far we go. Or we could get a rollover to the downside. We'll see what happens. We are approaching on the VZO, all right, on the 2-day VZO, we have a pattern running here. You can see they move up, and every time they get underneath this 9 EMA, they have a pullback to the 8 EMA. So we'll see how far this goes today, okay? Right now, they were acting bullish yesterday, holding it inside the opening range, which was about the first 3 5-minute candles, almost all day yesterday. Incredibly bullish to take it up there. They didn't move anywhere to the upside or to the downside. They just held it there in a plank position all morning, all day long. Okay, so there's SPY. That's bullish. Let's hit the game plan and see what we got here for the SPY game plan. We've got Again, the pivot, 643.30 above it. I'm a bull, below it, I'm a bear. And you can see down here we have a red erases green, all right, opportunity or entry right there underneath 642.30. So underneath all of these tails down here, okay, underneath 642.30 is a red erases green entry. We have a green erases red entry up here over 644.05. You can see the tight range that we were in yesterday. Now, yesterday I had a not so great day. I tried trading this chop, all right, and I lost. Okay, I lost big time. Okay, so you can see right here I lost 50K. Now, keep in mind I built this account up from 27K up to about 331K. Losing 50K is nothing to me, but we don't want to do that again, right? All right, so you can see there's price action, and that was me. I got too big on one of my positions too soon, and I wound up getting burned by it. Okay, so again, chop is when you've got price action that trades moves back and forth over VWAP for more than 3 times before noon. All right, and all it did all day was move back and forth across VWAP all day. So again, it was a tough day. Didn't move anywhere. Just really tight range all day long. Wicks at the top, tails at the bottom. Of course, that's where they're supposed to be. But that's all it was. Those little itty-bitty candles with wicks and tails everywhere. All right, so there's SPY on the game plan there. Okay, I like 3 days till expiration Friday options on the multiple of 5 that are $3 to $15 out of the money. I like 10-day till expiration Friday options that are on a multiple of 5 that are 3 to 50 strikes, $3 to $15 out of the money. All right, I like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP, breaking up and away from VWAP. I like 10-minute downtrends, breaking down and away from VWAP. Both of those are playable opportunities and profit-making opportunities when you get price to pull away from VWAP. There's a lot of potential for profit-making through there. Now, my favorite trade, I don't know if we're going to get it today, but that is the 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. That happens to be inside the 2-hour uptrend. Now, you notice we checked it out this morning. We don't have a 2-hour uptrend right now. Okay, but I like a 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. That's inside of a 2-hour uptrend, that's inside of a daily uptrend, it's inside of a weekly uptrend, that's inside of a monthly uptrend. Okay, so it's going to be hard to figure out what we're going to do with CPI this morning. Okay, so trading the morning is really based on waiting for CPI to shake out, and then we'll see where they want to go from there. Okay, so probably put that in the morning video when I open up the day. So we'll see what happens with that. Again, CPI comes out at 8:30. It could rip up, could rip down. I am expecting CPI to increase a little bit, so we'll see what happens, how the market receives that. They might not like it, and they might just have a little sell-off. We'll see what happens, okay? So there's a SPY game plan for this morning. Again, over 644.05, that's a bullish. Green erases red entry underneath 642.30. That's a bearish red erases green entry. Again, neither one of these will probably be relevant based on the tight consolidation that we've entered into. It's a good chance we'll be well past 644.05 or well past 642.30 based on this tight consolidation right up here. Okay, so probably going to be well underneath here or well up over here. We'll see what happens. Okay, so there's SPY on the 15 minutes. Let's take a look at QQQ game plan. Now they got one as well. QQQ game plan, price over 578. That's the bullish. Same thing here, okay? They're consolidating tightly. I do see consolidation, a little bit different on QQQ than SPY. Do see consolidation starting to manifest underneath prior consolidation. That's a bearish outlook. So I would think maybe price might be pulling back to this anchored VWAP right there. We'll see what happens, okay? Again, SPY pivot this morning, 576.75. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Bearish red erases green underneath 575.30. Okay? And then bullish red green erases red over 578 up there. Okay? So up over 578 up there. And now we got same thing for QQQ options. I like the 3 days till expiration Friday options on the multiple of 5 that are 3 to 5 strikes, $3 to $15 out of the money. Like 10 days till expiration Friday options on the multiple of 5 that are $3 to $15 out of the money. I like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP, and I like 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. Now, if a 10-minute downtrend happens to manifest underneath the red erases green entry, I will look for it to break the rubber band candle, the bearish 10-minute rubber band candle, and that would be an entry on the downside. If it happens to manifest up here, all right, well before we get to the red erases green entry, again, I will look for a break of the rubber band, of the bearish 10-minute rubber band candle, all right, for price to come down to all the way back to the pivot, or maybe back to this support, or maybe back to this support area right here. All right, we'll see what happens. Okay, so if I get a 10-minute downtrend that happens to develop up here, doesn't mean I cannot trade it. All right, probably not going to trade it because it's a counter trend trade. All right, because the market is bullish. All right, but if I get a green bullish 10-minute uptrend that happens to manifest down here, maybe like off of VWAP, all right, I will be interested in trading that back from this anchored VWAP back to VWAP, or back to the pivot, or back to the base up here, okay? So there's QQQ on the 15-minute chart. There's your game plan for QQQ. Let's take a look at this on the daily chart. Let's head back over here to our other one. Okay, so let's move this. That's the VZO down there. All right, so QQQ, let's take a look at this on the daily chart. We got lower high, lower low, closing inside bullish trap over the rising 17. Up at the top of quadrant 4, that's still bullish up there and still in an uptrend. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow, remember Diamond Dow, not yesterday, but on Friday, put in a new all-time high right up there. Okay, Diamond Dow's candle for yesterday, lower high, lower low, closing over bullish trap over the rising 17, EMA up at the top of quadrant 4. Okay, in an uptrend, that's bullish, and in an uptrend right there. IWM, still bullish, all right, up in quadrant 4, that's bullish up there. Still in an uptrend because we got a high there, and they made a higher high. And for IWM, you can see they made a new rally high, not an all-time high, but a rally high, and that's based on the April rally that originated in April 1st, okay, all the way up here. So not yesterday, okay, more like Wednesday, they put in new rally high on IWM, okay, so they're bullish, and they're still in an uptrend. So everything's still bullish. Everything's still in an uptrend. FNGU, price action. FNGU is about the only one that's not in an uptrend. Okay, only because they made a low here and they made a lower low. All right, so they're the only ones that are not in an uptrend. But they're up here at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish. Again, moving up and holding that higher ground, just like SPY, okay, moving up and holding, that's bullish up there. They just haven't made that higher high. Here's the good news, okay? They might be in a downtrend, but let's look at it. They're not moving down. All right, so it's a downtrend that's not working, all right? They got themselves in a downtrend because they made the lower low, but all in all, they're not moving down, all right? They've been moving up ever since creating that downtrend, okay? They're up here at the top of quadrant 4. That is bullish up there. Okay, if we look at our technicals, T2122, lots of consolidation wind up here. Lots of tight consolidation. I see this We're poised for a good sized breakout, I think, today, based on all of this wind up that I'm looking at. If we look at yesterday's candle, again, there's the high of the day for your T2122, lower than the high from the previous day and lower than the high from the day before that. Okay. Good news is not any lower lows. They didn't make any lower lows at all. So there's T2122. Didn't make a higher high, but they didn't make a lower low. So pretty much an inside day, really, for T2122, which means probably going to see a breakout. All right, that's whenever you get that inside day, look for the breakout to occur on the following those inside days. Okay, so T2123. Again, look at the price structure, moving up and holding the higher ground. That is bullish price structure. That's a bullish behavior. That's moving up and planking for 3-4 days. Okay, that's a show of strength. Whenever they get up there and plank like that, that's a show of strength. They're up over the 200 SMA. That's bullish. All right, everything's. Yesterday they got themselves no downtrend yet. Okay, they didn't make a lower low. Still in an uptrend right now. Still got this bullish gap that has not been filled in 1, 2, 3 trading days. Okay, still a bullish outlook up there, moving up and holding that higher ground. That's on the 15-minute chart of T2123. T2123 3-bar chart, okay, still consolidating up here in quadrant 4. Again, they're dealing with, okay, this consolidation over here, that high and that high, okay, and then this low and then that low, okay. So you can see when they got up there, I'll take the crosshairs, put it up top there, and you can see where my crosshairs up on the top of those candles, see how they're dealing with these two blue lines. All right, that's those two peaks up there, okay? So it's going to take us a little while to cut through this. This is about 45 days of consolidation there. So we're not going to cut through it in a 4-hour candle. It's going to take us a little while to grind through this consolidation. But if once we get through all of this consolidation, the only thing stopping us then, okay, is the all-time high right there. All right, and I really think with this higher low, the bulls are going to be inspired to actually create a new all-time high. All right, got a higher low, looking for a higher high. We'll see what happens. T2123. Okay, again, price action putting in that higher low. We're up over the 200 SMA. That is bullish. We're up in quadrant 4. That's bullish. They're still in an uptrend because here's a low. There's a higher low. There's an even higher low. Okay, and they didn't make a lower low here. So everything's looking good. T2123 3-bar chart, still bullish. 15-minute, still bullish. Okay, SPY, still bullish. QQQ, still bullish. IWM, Diamond Dow, FNGU, all of them still bullish. All right, FNGU not in an uptrend, but let me just say this. That downtrend's not working, okay? Price is moving up instead of down. So, again, everything looking bullish across the board here as far as indexes go. As far as technicals, looking a little shaky and shady in some areas. We'll see. FNGU for yesterday's price action. Again, you can see price move up and consolidate over to the right. Again, a show of strength. Move up. Over to the right, that's planking. That's a show of strength. That's like watching somebody do 100 chin-ups, all right, right in front of you, all right? That's a show of strength, okay? Moving up, holding that higher ground, okay? If we want to look at where we came from, okay, you can see here was where we came from. Price action, notice it moves up from this launch pad up here and then consolidates all the way over, a little failed breakout, and then comes back over here, tests the bottom, fails to make a significant lower low. Now we're back up here consolidating in another bull flag inside of another bull flag, okay? So there's FNGU 15 minute. We're up over the 200 SMA. That's bullish. If we look at the 15 minute candle balls, we'll take a peek at those. See what price did. Okay, so they sold off in the morning time, and then the bulls came in to rescue the price as it got close to the base of the consolidation. Bulls came in and rescued it. Now notice they didn't make any higher highs. Chances are they're waiting for CPI to come out in 8 minutes, 7 minutes here, okay, before they decide to start making new higher highs. So there's FNGU on the 15. That's bullish, okay. On the 15 minute, are we in a downtrend? Yes. On the 15 minute, we're in a downtrend, but we're still holding that higher ground right up there. Okay, 15 minutes in a downtrend, not by much though, okay, because they got a low here and they made some lower lows yesterday. Again, when the bulls got started late in the day, not enough time probably to make the higher highs up here, so we'll see. All right, let's take a look at some technicals, not some technicals, some other sectors. So we'll take a look at, I didn't want that one. I wanted, where is it? Right there. Okay, so let's go look at USO. Okay, USO got a habit of moving up and giving it up, okay? Up, give it up. That's just neutral. Again, going up and giving it up. So it's neutral, okay? If it was in the lower third, that would be bearish, okay? If they could hang out in the upper third up here, that would be bullish. So they're in between, all right? They're just neutral, all right? Currently, they're in a downtrend because here's a low. There's the higher low. They made a lower low, so they're in a downtrend, but just neutral right here. They're just not ready yet. I got to tell you, fossil fuels here having a tough go of it this year. Actually, ever since that post-COVID high, fossil fuels really having a hard time. Nuclear's doing fine, but when it comes to the fossil fuels, okay, right there, just look at all the times they go up and give it up. Multiple times. They just cannot get up there and hold. That's USO. That's a daily chart, okay? Again, neutral and in a downtrend. UNG, okay? Just about 3-4 days ago, dug out a new all-time low. All right, UNG's in a downtrend because they keep making lower lows. And, of course, price action is under the 17. Yesterday's candle was lower high, lower low, closing inside a bearish trap, but under the falling 17 EMA right there. All the way down here at the bottom of quadrant 1, that's bearish and in a downtrend. You can see there's our head and shoulders pattern. Head, double top over here, right shoulder, double top over here, left shoulder, break of the neckline, and we came down to visit the all-time lows right there and made a new all-time low. So there's UNG, silver. Silver still looking bullish up here at the top of quadrant 4. We're at the middle of quadrant 4 up there. Still in an uptrend, making higher lows and higher highs. Okay, silver still in an uptrend. Nice consolidation, holding that higher ground up there. That's nice. Silver is currently at a 12-year high up here right now. Not an all-time high. 48 is more like the all-time high, but right now they're at a 12-year high. Let's take a look at gold. Gold, look at this is like somebody going up there and doing like 1,000 chin-ups, okay? See this, how they move up and then over to the right, holding over the $300 mark there for almost 4 months straight. Almost that looking like they're building a castle. I don't know, a home, a castle. It's no longer a tent or a camp, all right? It looks more like building a really nice home right up there. Top of quadrant 4 for gold, that's bullish. Gold's in a downtrend because they got a lower low right through here. See this low? They got underneath that low. So they're in a downtrend. But the good news is ever since making the low, they haven't been moving down. They've been kind of moving to the right or to the upside. So there's gold, bullish, downtrend that's not working, holding the higher ground. Okay? There's the quad line. So you can see here we start, and they've been up here for now. See, this is an example of holding the higher ground, which we do not see in USO. Okay? USO, you see us up there for 2-3 days, and then they give it up. Okay, look at this. This is 4 months of holding that higher ground. No longer are they camping. They're building a foundation right there. There's gold. All right, let's take a look at our economic package. All right, for the dollar is still in an uptrend. Okay, if they happen to take out this low down here, they'll negate the uptrend and reconvert the downtrend. Okay, currently price action, okay, has broken major support through here. So now this becomes minor resistance. All right, so price action right now we're making a bear flag. So price moves down and over to the right. That's a bear flag. And inside that bear flag, we've got a little uptrend going on with a low here, and we got a higher low, and after that higher low, we produced a higher high, okay, which made us in an uptrend right now. Again, if we produce a lower low, okay, that will negate the uptrend and reconvert the downtrend. All right, so there's price structure in a bear flag. Again, the place to be is up on top of this minor resistance. They have not made it up there yet. They're in a little mini uptrend right now. We'll see how far they want to take it. Currently, they're in a bear flag underneath the minor resistance right there. Okay, let's take a look at max pain for today. For SPY, max pain is 642 with about 1.1516 puts for each call that expires today. And remember, those SPY puts and call options expire at 4:15, while securities expire at 4 p.m. Okay, on the economic calendar, let's get to this right now. CPI comes out at 8:30. Right now, it is 8:30. You can see it is 8:30. So CPI is coming out at 8:30 today. NFIB Small Business Optimism Index comes out at 8 o'clock. They've already released that. Not a big market mover. CPI is a market mover. Okay, Wednesday we've got MBA mortgage applications, and then we've got a petroleum report, so light day tomorrow. Wherever they move the CPI today, I would look for a continuation on Wednesday because there's nothing happening right there. Thursday, we got jobless claims at 8:30, PPI final demand 8:30, and a gas report at 10. Again, as long as jobless claims and PPI come in fine, again, a continuation of the CPI report, wherever they want to take that from there. On Friday, we got retail sales at 8:30, Empire State Manufacturing Index at 8:30, import-export prices 8:30, industrial production 9:15, business inventories at 10, consumer sentiment at 10, and our normal rig count at 1 o'clock. Okay? Okay, that's it for this week. Okay, the main event's going to be CPI. I'm on last week's calendar. How did that happen? All right. Oh, wow. Wow. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Housing starts and permits at 8:30 today. Okay, so FOMC is going to be the main event at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Okay, 2 p.m. tomorrow. All right, so housing starts and permits at 8:30 today. Tomorrow, MBA mortgage applications at 7. Atlanta Fed business inflation expectations at 10. Petroleum report 10:30. And then FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. Okay. On Thursday, what do we got? Jobless claims, just like last week. 8:30, Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, 8:30, PMI Composite Flash, 9:45, existing home sales, 10 o'clock. I'm glad you guys said something. Leading indicators, 10 o'clock, gas report at 10:30. All right, and then Powell's going to speak at 10 o'clock on Friday. Don't know what he's going to say. That couldn't be said on Wednesday after the FOMC minutes. Wow, glad you said something, traders. Earnings report. We got some big earnings coming up. Home Depot's reporting today. It's $397 billion. That's a big retailer. Medtronic, $119 billion. I think that is healthcare. I'm not positive. Wednesday is TJX companies, $147 billion in the morning. Lowe's, $141 billion in the morning. Analog Devices, $114 billion in the morning. The rest of those days, again, the rest of them on Tuesday and Wednesday. Familiar names: Nordstrom, you've heard of them all before. Baidu, Estee Lauder, Target. Okay, you've heard of them all. They're just familiar names. They're not market movers, though. Okay, let's go to Thursday. Walmart. That's going to be a market mover. That could be a market mover. 803, big retailer. Okay, right behind Amazon. All right, big retailer right there. $803 billion for Walmart. They're going to report Thursday morning. Intuit, $200 billion. They're going to report Thursday evening. Full Truck Alliance, $118 billion. They're going to report in the morning right alongside Walmart. Friday, just familiar names, nothing that's going to move the markets right there. All right, so we'll see what happens. All right, that's it for me. I'll see you guys in about 45 minutes. I'll get my video rendered, get it out there to the people in podcast land and digital land. Thank you, everybody.